So, quick question to start today's show. Are we heading into a new rate setup? And is Bitcoin already pricing it in? Because today is all about data and big headlines that move liquidity. We are covering Scott Besson saying Donald Trump could name the next Fed chair as soon as next week. And that one decision alone can move yields, the dollar, stocks, and crypto very fast. Then we'll hit the AI drama everyone's watching, Elon Musk versus OpenAI, where a private diary style journal is turning into a real plot point in a case that could reshape how AI companies are built and funded. After that, we've got Elon Musk stirring markets again with Ryanair talk. We'll break down what's real versus just noise and OpenAI's new $8 ChatGPT Go Tier Plus at testing, which is a big signal that AI is becoming a platform business. We'll also look at Bloomberg's report on the Trump family getting more financially tied to Bitcoin and crypto, and we'll close with the trading story. Hyperliquid back at top in perp decks, while airdrop volumes at competitors cool off. A clean lesson in real demand versus incentive demand. And through all of that, we'll keep coming back to Bitcoin, of course. So, anyways, today's is a packed show. So, let's get started with our first story of the day. So, Scott Bessent. So, US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just said Donald Trump could announce his pick for the next chair of the Federal Reserve as early as next week. He shared this while speaking at the World Economic Forum, and he confirmed the search is now down to 4 finalists. This is becoming a major political and market story because the Fed chair controls the biggest lever in the market, that being interest rate, of course. And when it comes to the final 4 finalists, let's take a look at Polymarket because usually Polymarket is spot on when it comes to this kind of stuff. So we have these 4 candidates. The first one that is sitting at number 1. So apparently 46% of people are predicting that Kevin Walsh gonna become the Fed chair. Sitting at number 2, we have Rick Ryder sitting with 26% of vote, and Christopher Waller, and then the final one, we have Kevin Hassett. So who are these people? We're going to start with, of course, the first one sitting at number 1. So Kevin Walsh. So Kevin Walsh is actually the former Fed governor. Very experienced. He has been in Fed leadership circles before. So Scott Besson described all of this 4 as fantastic fit. So let's take a look at the second option that we have. So Rick Ryder. So Rick Ryder is actually the BlackRock fixed income chief, a huge name in bonds and institutional money. And then the third person is actually the current Fed governor already inside the Fed system. And then the fourth one, Kevin Hassett, is the National Economic Council Director, a key Trump economic figure and spokesperson. So these 4 are the finalists. Let's see who Donald Trump going to pick. But here's an interesting plot twist. Kevin Hassett has been seen for a long time as potential possible front runner, but Donald Trump recently hinted he may want to keep Kevin Hassett in his current role because Kevin Hassett is one of his key public economic voices. So that changes the math because now investors are thinking, if not Kevin Hassett, who would that person be? Now, we have extra chaos added to the story. So Bloomberg said this decision is happening while the Fed is dealing with a Justice Department subpoena tied to a probe. This is related to the Fed's building renovation situation. Like, of course, we know this is not about the building at the end of the day. Everything ties back to the rate cuts. And then the second thing that the Fed is dealing with is Jerome Powell testifying to Congress. So the Fed is already under heavy public pressure, and this is where it becomes sensitive. Markets get nervous when the Fed looks like it's becoming dragged into politics because the Fed is supposed to be independent. Right now, that independency is being questioned by Donald J. Trump for sure. And a big risk for now. So one Republican senator, so Tom Tillis, he has even warned he may oppose any Fed nomination until the investigation is resolved. So even if Donald Trump announces his pick next week, the big question becomes, can that person actually get through confirmation smoothly? And that's why some officials believe maybe Rick Riders, which was the second option on Polymarket right now, might face fewer obstacles in a Senate fight. So when the name drops, what we know is that markets will for sure instantly react. Very likely, whoever this person will be, he's going to be very dovish. So we're going to see immediate moves in treasury yields, in S&P 500, and USD dollars and crypto. And as for the current states, like on 28th of January, looks like, according to Polymarket, the Fed is not going to cut rates anytime soon. So 97% of people think that the rate not going to basically unchanged. They're not going to do anything. Let's hop on to what's going to happen in March as well. So again, like 80% of people think it's going to they're going to hold rates steady, and same for 29th of April. So 73% of people happen to think Jerome Powell is not going to do anything with the rates because like his final term is going to be in May this year. So like my personal take, I don't think Jerome Powell is going to cut rates before, ending his term in May 2026. There's no reason to, because like silver, gold, S&P 500 stock market, everything is at new all-time high. So there's really no reason for the Fed to do such thing. But like, of course, we're keeping close eyes. What we know is that whoever replaced Jerome Powell, he will bow to Donald Trump. Like he is gonna cut rates before Donald Trump say a word. So let's wrap this clean, loud and clear. Donald Trump may name the next Federal Reserve next week. The shortlist is down to 4 names according to Bloomberg's, and here are the probability of these 4 candidates according to Polymarket. Politics is now being mixed into the process, and whoever gets picked could reshape the market's rate expectations very instantly. So the next few days could be quiet and then sudden explosive. So that's why we are watching this very, very closely here on Roxham TV. Okay, moving on to the next story of today. So we also have Elon Musk. So right now, he is trying to sue OpenAI for up to $134 billion, so billion rather. And the turning point in Elon Musk versus OpenAI might actually be a private diary. Yes, like a real person journal written like a 12-year-old girl diary, and it just got dragged into a multi-billion-dollar courtroom fight. And as of January 2026, this case is officially moving toward a jury trial on 27th of April 2026 in Oakland, California. So what is this fight all about? Like, simple explanation, like this whole dispute comes down to one big question. Was OpenAI supposed to stay a non-profit forever, or was becoming for-profit always part of the plan? OpenAI started all the way back in 2015 with a very idealistic mission. So it's to build AGI, AGI stands for Advanced AI for the benefit of humanity, not just for profit. But now OpenAI, I'm sure a lot of our viewers are using OpenAI or a general AI every single day. So OpenAI has a hybrid structure. It's very much for profit and a deep partnership with Microsoft that worth billions. So Elon Musk is saying this is betrayal. Of course, OpenAI filed back. So this is the official reply from OpenAI. So they gave out this reply on 16th of January. So titled The Truth Elon Left Out. And this is like, we always have to look at both sides of the story. So we're going to look at Elon's side and also OpenAI's official reply. So in his latest court filing, Elon cherry picks and published snippets from Greg, the private journal entries obtained as part of the legal discovery, which, when read with the surrounding context, tell a very different story from what Elon claims. The truth is that we and Elon agreed back in 2017 that a for-profit structure would be the next phase for OpenAI. Negotiations ended when we refused to give him full control. We rejected his offer to merge OpenAI into Tesla. We tried to find another path to achieve the mission together, and then he quit OpenAI, encouraging us to find our own path to raising billions of dollars, without which he gave us a 0% chance of success. So that's the story of OpenAI. So let's go back to the lawsuit between Elon Musk and OpenAI, because Elon Musk is not asking for small money. He's demanding for around $79 billion to $134 billion in damages, basically claiming OpenAI and Microsoft made wrongful gains because of what he helped build early on. If that sounds insane, it really is, and it is very dramatic. This could become one of the largest civil claims in modern tech history. So a quick background of OpenAI and how we got here and how ChatGPT emerged. So here's the timeline. So 2015, OpenAI's planned and launched. It started as non-profit. The vibe is quite easy. So basically it's for safety, openness, humanity first. Elon Musk helped fund it early on, and reports say roughly $38 million to $44 million. So that is the kind of a donation or investment. It depends how you view it from Elon's side. And then money becomes a problem starting from 2017. Like training cutting edge AI is really expensive. And there's a internal debate. It becomes like how to build AGI without burning out financially. So Elon, he decides to kind of like being pushed out. This was how the relationship breaks. Elon's side, he said he was pushed out, and OpenAI said he left after not getting control. And here comes a pivotal moment, because Microsoft came in and became a giant partners, and Elon really did not like that. And the rest of the story, because 2023, ChatGPT absolutely exploded. This is when the rivalry becomes real. Like OpenAI becomes a global AI leader. Elon Musk launches XAI, like being Grok as the competitor. And then fast forward to 2024, Elon Musk filed a lawsuit claiming OpenAI broke the original promise. So there are 4 claims that Elon is saying. So here are the details. So first, OpenAI was created to help humanity, not to become profit first. And then the second claim by Elon Musk is that OpenAI became closed. He said OpenAI stopped being open source and became very secretive. He's not for that. And then the third claim, he's saying OpenAI became too tied to Microsoft. Of course, he's not a big fan of that neither. And then the fourth claim is that he claimed he was misled and pushed out. He helped build the foundation, and then he got cut out completely. And now he's trying to force a reorganization, restriction on the business, and potentially a rollback of how OpenAI operates. So OpenAI responds, as we mentioned, the article that they post out. They're saying Elon knew exactly this is for profit, and Elon just trying to take control but didn't get it. So that's why Elon is throwing a temper. So this is what on the OpenAI's part of story is saying. But here's where it gets very juicy. So this is where the story goes from corporate dispute to an actual drama, because court documents have been unsealed, and that includes emails, internal discussions, and even private journal style writing from OpenAI leadership. Elon Musk is using these documents to as evidence that OpenAI was never fully honest. OpenAI says like these are cherry picked and taken out of context. So for those of you who are very interested, basically what sort of evidence Elon Musk brought to the table, okay, this is a snippet of the PDF. So Brickman, so of course OpenAI leadership, the co-founder. Here's what he said in his diary. Sounds like a little girl, but this actually happened. So Bregman wrote in September 2017, "This is the only chance we have to get out from Elon. Is he the glorious leader that I would pick? We truly have a chance to make this happen. Financially, what will take me to $1 billion? Accepting Elon's terms nukes two things: our ability to choose, though maybe we could overrule him, and the economics." And he continued by writing, "Cannot say that we are committed to the non-profit, don't want to say that we are committed. If 3 months later we are doing B Corp, then it was a lie." He then further wrote, "We cannot see us turning this into a for-profit without a very nasty fight. I am just thinking about the office, and we are in the office." And his story will correctly be that we weren't honest with him in the end about still wanting to be the for-profit just without him. So this was reviewed in the court, and this turned into a narrative war inside the court of public opinion as well. So I'll leave it for you guys to decide who's right or who's wrong, even if you don't care about Elon Musk or OpenAI. This court does matter because it could set a precedent for the entire AI industry. So do early donors like Elon Musk have rights if the mission changes? Or how much control can one person demand in an AI safety organization? And this also changes how investors think, because if lawsuits like this can threaten AI companies, it becomes a new risk for the whole sector. So if you ask me, here's my honest take. This lawsuit is really messy, emotional, political, and I would say having a diary like this is kind of childish at the same time. Elon Musk clearly believes OpenAI changes too much, but if OpenAI also has a strong argument, the AI race is expensive and non-profit model alone likely couldn't compete at frontier scale. So the real issue is this: the world wants AI to be safe and for everyone, but the world also demands AI to move fast, win globally, and ship products. And that tension is exactly what this lawsuit exposed. This fight is far from over, and we will keep you up to date when we have new developments for this case. Right now, we'll take a short break, and coming back to you, we also have more Elon Musk news because right now he is throwing insane statement on X saying that he's going to buy Ryanair. So we're going to dive into detail, so do stay with us.
Security matters. Zappo Bank. The only way to bank your Bitcoin. Apply now at zappobank.com.
So, tell us about your furry friend here. What's his name?
Oh, this? This is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
It's not just a cat, he's family.
Quite a name, and I must say, looks quite pampered.
Oh, absolutely. Bitcoin deserves nothing but the best. He's my little prince.
But with such a valuable pet, aren't you afraid of losing him?
Losing Bitcoin? No, it never happened before, so it's not something I worry about. Excuse me for a moment. Bitcoin, stay here, right?
Bitcoin, no! Bitcoin, come on, little buddy, Bitcoin, I need you, don't go!
In a world far away. Nah, just kidding. This story begins in this world. It all started in 1460 in Antwerp, when the first commodities exchange was created, but the real transformation came in 1602, when the Amsterdam Stock Exchange was founded. Considered the oldest in the world, it was the first to trade financial assets. Over the years, Britain expanded its colonial and maritime influence, and the British pound sterling overtook the Dutch guilder in the market. Thus, the London Stock Exchange became the financial centre of the world. The 20th century came, and the world got into some trouble. But shortly after World War II, the Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, and the centre of the planet moved to Wall Street. Today, we're travelling at the speed of light towards a new age, an era shaped by the consolidation of Bitcoin as the currency that will define the future of the markets. We present Roxum, a new Bitcoin-denominated market that allows trading all sorts of securities, commodities, derivatives, options, and anything you can imagine. Roxum, rock-solid markets.
Some call me Chicken Little, others Bubble Boy.
Lawyer.
I'm a bit changed, but sounds familiar,
You
right?
can drop here.
Let me tell you a hard truth. The S&P isn't rising, the dollar's falling. That's the trick, monopoly money. It's ice melting by the second. Your savings, your salary, your time. Worth less every second. Everyone's using the wrong measuring stick. Switch the denominator. Price the S&P into Bitcoin. Hard, fixed, unprintable. Suddenly your unstoppable index, it's collapsing. And while you cling to dollars, well, Wall Street already switched. Before, you needed 2 brokers.
Still getting my ninja bonus though, right?
Plenty of spreadsheets. And my quant!
I hate this part.
I was right, and I'll be right again. If I were you, I'd thank me.
You know my name's Dave, right?
Welcome back to Roxum TV, and thanks for sticking with us. We are now going to dive into even more Elon Musk news because he just openly joked about buying Ryanair, and the market actually moved like it and want to think it might be real. For the past few days, Elon Musk have been publicly floating the idea of buying Ryanair, being Europe's biggest low-cost budget airline. And it all started from an online feud with Ryanair CEO, so being Michael O'Leary. This is one of those stories that sounds like a meme, but is actually moving real market. So let's get into the details of the timeline, what happened exactly. Elon Musk posted a poll right here, so asking on X if he should buy Ryanair. So 76% of people actually liked the idea and voted yes. He said he wants to restore Ryanair as the rightful ruler, referring to Ryanair's late co-founder Tony Ryan. This came after days of public arguing between Elon Musk and Ryanair CEO Michael Larry. So yes, it's basically a billionaire argument turning into a takeover rumor yet again. So how did we get here? Why Elon Musk and Michael Larry are fighting? Well, it turns out it started from one topic, being Starlink. So Starlink, the internet supply. So Starlink internet on planes, the idea. Ryanair CEO said he's not interested in putting SpaceX Starlink on Ryanair aircraft, and his reasons were very practical. He's saying it's simply too expensive to do that on aircraft. It's adding a lot of weight. Weight means more fuel, and more fuel means higher cost. And Elon Musk, of course, he did not like that comment at all. He replied saying Kevin and Larry is basically misinformed. Then Kevin and Larry fired back with personal insult. And now this fight has turned into, should Elon Musk buy the entire airline? And this is the crazy part. After Elon's comments, Ryan shares actually jumped up as 2.3%. So let's scroll down to the chart here. So right now sitting at $69, $69.50. So Ryanair jumped up a little bit. That may sound small, but for a massive airline, that move can add like billions in market value very quickly. And Ryanair is not a small company. It's valued around 30 billion euro. That is about 35 billion USD. And that makes one of the biggest airlines in Europe. So normally if a random person jokes about buying a company, nobody cares. But we are talking about Elon right here because we have seen this move before. Back in 2022, he started publicly talking about buying Twitter like it was just an idea, and then it ended with a real deal, $44 billion, boom. So when Elon posted, should I buy this company? The market reaction is basically, wait, like, is he serious again? Now, let's be clear. A Ryanair takeover could be very, very difficult. Reason why is like, there's actually a few reasons. First is that Europe has straight foreign ownership rules. So European airlines are heavily regulated. There are limits on foreign ownership, especially for airlines that operate in European airspace under EU laws. So even if Elon Musk has the money, the structure may not allow him to control it fully. Second reason is that Ryanair, Ryanair isn't a startup where you can actually buy it so easily. Michael Larry himself is a major shareholder, and the company has its own strong base of investors. That makes any takeover harder and more expensive. And that reason is the regulator. So Elon Musk's takeover attempt would trigger massive questions like national interest, competition rules, and EU political pressure. So even getting approval could be a very long battle. And Bloomberg, there's also one thing they point out very importantly. This Ryanair moment is happening while Elon Musk is already under pressure in Europe, especially around AI concerns, his chatbot being Grok, and broader tech regulation in the EU. So this isn't just a fun CEO or CEO 5 or 2 billionaires fighting on the internet again. This is also part of a bigger theme. Like Europe is tightening control on tech giants, and Elon Musk does not like it. Even if Elon Musk never makes a real offer, the story shows something very powerful. His words alone can move billions in the market. social media can create market speculation very instantly, and investors are now trained to react to his so-called jokes like they are signals. So the real question isn't like, will Elon Musk buy Ryanair? The real question is, how much market power does one person's attention still have? Because in today's world, attention isn't just influence, attention is money. Okay, moving on to the next news, building up to that whole AI hype that we're getting. Basically, there's so much AI news we have to cover in today's show. And ChatGPT is apparently getting cheaper, but it's also getting ads. That's the headline. OpenAI just launched a new $8 a month plan called ChatGPT Go, and at the same time, they are starting to test ad inside ChatGPT. So this isn't just a new subscription plan. This is OpenAI turning ChatGPT into a real consumer business, and honestly, it could change how the internet works. So what just happened? OpenAI announced two major updates. So a brand new plan called ChatGPT Go for $8 a month. And they are also beginning to test ads inside ChatGPT in the US. And don't worry, the higher paid plans like Plus, Pro, Business, Enterprise will remain ad free. So the ads are mainly going into free users and Go users. So ChatGPT is basically, ChatGPT Go is basically the free tier but with high limits. It's aimed at people who use ChatGPT every single day but don't want to pay the full $20, $20 a month. So what ChatGPT Go would include, so what this like $8 thing would include, what you get is way more messages than the free plan, more image generations, file uploads, and better memory features, meaning ChatGPT can remember your preferences a lot more easily. It's like the free tier plus without jumping all the way to the premium plan. So now, here's the concerning part. Let's talk about the ad. So ad inside ChatGPT. This is a picture posted on X by the official page of OpenAI. So this is an example of what the fast ad formats they are planning right now. So this is what it could look like. All right, so OpenAI say it will be clearly labeled. So we know that this is sponsored, this is a ad, and placed at the bottom of certain answers. So it's not like YouTube where ads interrupt your mid video. It's more like you ask a question, you get the answer, then you might see a sponsor suggestion underneath. So ads are meant to appear only when your question is relevant when it comes to shopping advice, or maybe you ask for a recipe and then there's some ingredients pop up, product recommendations, services, travel planning. So if you're asking something like, what laptop should I buy for video editing, that's the type of chat where ads would make sense and the ad would pop up. OpenAI say this will start as a test in the United States for login adult users, and it will be rolled out step by step. So again, free plan only, Go plan only. It's not touching the premium plans, at least not for the time being. But here's the truth. AI is really expensive. So that's the reason why OpenAI is doing all this and trying to make sense in the whole business model. Every message you send, every answer you get, and every image generated, it costs compute power, electricity, and server infrastructure. So OpenAI is trying to solve a very simple problem. How do we let more users use OpenAI ChatGPT without losing money every time someone asks a question? And the answer is cheaper subscription plan for mass users and ads like this to help subsidize the lower tiers. This is how most tech companies scale. However, I would argue, like this is only my personal take, and I know some users on X are getting very nervous as well because I'm sure a lot of viewers watched Black Mirror, and this does awfully resemble to an episode on Black Mirror. And first of all, when I look at this screenshot by OpenAI or by ChatGPT, my first reaction is that this is actually encounter 1/3 of the screen. So it's actually quite a big proportion. Like the other 2/3, we actually get the answer and also showing a little bit of the question I asked on ChatGPT. But like for the free plan or the gold plan, this is actually a big proportion, in my opinion. And other things like, okay, right now, at first, the ads are light, so they claim. Then maybe the ads going to get more frequent. Then maybe free tier becomes too annoying because there are too much products being recommended by the AI, and suddenly you feel forced to upgrade. So this is a big concern that at least I personally have. For now, OpenAI is saying the ads won't ruin the experience because they're too small. They are clearly labeled, so there's the sponsor tab right here and not mixed into the actual answer. So this is more of a soft test, not an aggressive takeover. As for the Black Mirror stuff, like the episode, like this awfully remind me of the episode. If you guys watched that, let me know in the chat box as well. So where a woman with brain tumor uses a company called Rivermind to back up her consciousness, requiring a costly monthly subscription that dictates her quality of life, the ads and features mirroring real-world subscription models. So let's see if the whole UI UX, the whole experience, going to go downhill. This is why this news matters, and this is why we're covering that on Roxham TV. ChatGPT is no longer just a chatbot. It's becoming a platform like Google Search or YouTube or the App Store, because the moment people start using ChatGPT to compare products, make decisions, plan trips, or learn skills, that becomes extremely valuable attention. And ads are basically a sign that ChatGPT is becoming a front page of the internet. So a clean summary for this news yet again. ChatGPT Go is OpenAI's new mass adoption plan. Cheaper price, higher limit, more features, and ads are OpenAI's way to keep the free plan alive while funding the cost of running AI at global scale, because OpenAI is still losing a lot of money, and there are analysts on the internet saying that they expect OpenAI to go bust over the next 18 months. So let's see how it goes. But like this is the kind of the pattern of tech companies. Like initially for the first 3 years, they are not earning any profits per se. So usually just only get better after like a decade or something. So let's see how that plays out. I'm kind of taking it with a pinch of salt. Well, again, this also tells us something bigger. The AI race is not only about who has the smartest model anymore. It's about who builds the biggest consumer platform. And OpenAI just made a big move to try to win this game. So we will take a short break for now, and coming back to you, we're diving into the world of crypto and also in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is doing a lot of in terms of volatility, is getting the VIX is going up. So we're going to dive into Bitcoin's TA as well. So do stay with us on Roxham TV.
Security matters. Zappo Bank. The only way to bank your Bitcoin. Apply now at zappobank.com.
So, tell us about your furry friend here. What's his name?
Oh, this? This is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin?
It's not just a cat, he's family.
Quite a name, and I must say, looks quite pampered.
Oh, absolutely. Bitcoin deserves nothing but the best. He's my little prince.
But with such a valuable pet, aren't you afraid of losing him?
Losing Bitcoin? No, it never happened before, so it's not something I worry about. Excuse me for a moment. Bitcoin, stay here, right?
Bitcoin, no! Bitcoin, come on, little buddy, Bitcoin, I need you. Don't go.
In a world far away. Nah, just kidding. This story begins in this world. It all started in 1460 in Antwerp, when the first commodities exchange was created, but the real transformation came in 1602, when the Amsterdam Stock Exchange was founded. Considered the oldest in the world, it was the first to trade financial assets. Over the years, Britain expanded its colonial and maritime influence, and the British pound sterling overtook the Dutch guilder in the market. Thus, the London Stock Exchange became the financial centre of the world. The 20th century came, and the world got into some trouble. But shortly after World War II, the Bretton Woods Agreement established the dollar as the world's primary reserve currency, and the centre of the planet moved to Wall Street. Today, we're travelling at the speed of light towards a new age, an era shaped by the consolidation of Bitcoin as the currency that will define the future of the markets. We present Roxum, a new Bitcoin-denominated market that allows trading all sorts of securities, commodities, derivatives, options, and anything you can imagine. Roxum, rock-solid markets.
Some call me Chicken Little, others Bubble Boy. I'm a bit changed, but sounds familiar, right? Let me tell you a hard truth. The S&P isn't rising, the dollar's falling. That's the trick, monopoly money. It's ice melting by the second. Your savings, your salary, your time. Worth less every second. Everyone's using the wrong measuring stick. Switch the denominator. Price the S&P into Bitcoin. Hard, fixed, unprintable. Suddenly your unstoppable index, it's collapsing. And while you cling to dollars, well, Wall Street already switched. Before, you needed 2 brokers.
Still getting my ninja bonus though, right?
Plenty of spreadsheets. And my quant!
I hate this part.
I was right, and I'll be right again. If I were you, I'd thank me.
You know my name's Dave, right?
Welcome back to Roxum TV, and thanks for sticking with us. We're now going to dive into the Trump family because they are not just talking about crypto anymore. Their money is starting to depend on it, and that's a real headline today. So let's get into the details. There is a growing share of Trump family's estimated $6.8 billion net worth is now connected to crypto-related projects. And that matters because it signals something bigger than politics. Crypto is no longer the weird internet thing. It's becoming a serious part of major power families and big brands build wealth. So for years, Donald Trump family, the wealth is actually built around real estate. So hotels, properties, or for himself, maybe media exposure. But crypto changes that business model. Crypto projects can be launched fast, scale globally, and monetize with less upfront capital than building an entire tower. So compared to real estate, crypto is like high speed, low cost, and high upside. This is why digital assets are moving closer to the center of the Trump's family balance sheet. So if we look at the numbers, it's actually very insane. Trump family generated roughly $1.4 billion from new digital asset projects last year. marking the first time virtual assets outpaced real estate in driving family wealth. So question, like where is this money coming from? Like even in crypto, like which sector? So for Donald Trump, there are different products. For example, the first one is, of course, the NFT. So Donald Trump NFT drops have been a key revenue driver. And the main things about NFT is they can generate large sales fast, and they can create fees and royalties without needing huge infrastructure or long development cycles. This is basically brand monetization in digital form. And second thing that is linked to the Trump family is also, is of course, Liberty Financial, which is a DeFi project. Now, the big theme here is not just one project, it's the pattern. Donald Trump's brand and pro-crypto positioning, and of course he has a big audience, that create a machine that can launch crypto products with attention built in. So here's the part where investors need to understand very clearly. If Donald Trump is publicly positioning himself as a pro-Bitcoin and pro-crypto, and his family's fortune is becoming more tied to crypto, that creates alignment. It doesn't automatically mean crypto goes up tomorrow, but it does mean crypto becomes even more politically concentrated and more mainstream power connected. But of course, here comes the downside. Every time a major political figure leans into crypto, we get a wave of token launches, quick flip narratives, short-lived projects, and retail getting caught in a casino. And that makes it very hard for normal investors to separate Bitcoin and crypto. Bitcoin is the long-term monetary network, long-term asset, while crypto, a lot of them is just about speculation and narratives changing over time. So yes, the Trump family moving into crypto is a signal, but it can also bring more chaos, more scams, and more noise. So this is really the part that I want to focus on, and I want to spend some time to talk about that. Bitcoin is different because Bitcoin is decentralized, it's simple, it's not controlled by a team, or there's no marketing team or like a marketing driven product launch. While most of the tokens we see, they are controlled by a team, they are highly dependent on the narrative and built for attention cycles. So when people say Trump is bullish for crypto, the real question becomes bullish for what exactly, like Bitcoin or just the casino? Because those are two entirely different things. Bloomberg also pointed out that Eric Trump has appeared at Bitcoin conferences over the past year. This is notable because it suggests Donald Trump, like the Trump circle, Trump family, is not only chasing crypto hype, they are also leaning into the Bitcoin narrative directly. So in my own opinion, if you understand this space even a little bit, you know Bitcoin is the strongest long-term asset in the entire sector. Everything else rotates. Like 99% of the altcoins we see will fail. Like it's a very rather difficult job to find that 1% gem out of the rubbish we're seeing. So tokens pump, tokens dump, and narratives could come and go, but like Bitcoin will always stay. So here's how I frame it. This is not a headline that means buy every token because of Donald Trump. This is a headline that means crypto is becoming part of the political and financial power structure. And when that happens, the market gets bigger, but the market also gets louder. So final key takeaway, don't get distracted by the noise. Watch the trend and focus on what survives the cycle, because in the end, Bitcoin native plays with strong fundamentals are built to endure. Everything else, it will just keep turning and turning. All right, so speaking of Bitcoin, let's now dive into the chart right now, because like Bitcoin, there is so much volatility. We ramped up to even get close, very close to $98,000. So everyone was really high, but like looks like at the end of the day, this is still a bear flag, being a bearish pattern overall. So where is Bitcoin going to? Looks like we found some support around this support line that I drew days ago. So this support line, actually, we've been building up since 21st of November, and today is 20th of January. So basically for a couple of months. And whenever we try to get close to this line, we end up like got a bounce back. And this is also being suggested by the cycle time frame here. So here, so there are different lines, but bear with me. So the blue line on the top is the 1 day cycle time frame, and then we have 3 days and then 1 week. So basically how you read this, it's a little bit similar to RSI, but of course we have different time frames set up here. So here being the blue line is the 1 day cycle. So you see 1 day cycle is topping out here, and it kind of aligned with the market momentum, the price action. We top on 14th of January. So like this is a lagging indicator. So this is something we have to bear in mind using indicators like this as well. But point being, right now, the 1 day cycle has bottomed out. So the 3 day is coming down as well. And the 1 week is getting very crazy because we reach all the way at 83. So basically above 83. So the 1 week going to slightly come down, and then we're going to bounce back again. So this is how you read the cycle time frame. So point being, according to the 1 day, so we're looking at the first one right here, so the blue line here. According to the 1 day cycle time frame, we're going to have a tiny rally. Like, although I'm not saying this rally going to be significant, because I have my doubt. There is a strong resistance. So if we just take the mid level of this pump, so we have the mid level of 90K. So there's a strong resistance around here. Maybe very likely we're just like hovering around this line. But like since the 1 day is suggesting we're going to rally, it does make sense because after this huge dump, so from $97,000 all the way to $88,000, so that is like a 10% dump in a matter of like less than a week. So just a few days, it makes sense to have a tiny pump, a tiny rally. Though I judge the strength going to be it's going to carry a lot of weight for the strength, but this is just how cycle time frame works. Like in the coming days, we're going to expect a tiny rally, though, as I mentioned, it's going to hover around 90K, something around that, like because there's a huge resistance, and also this bear flag is forming. It has been forming for months. So I have my doubt that we're going to get out of this like bear flag. And if we drop and completely lose this level of support that we're building for months, the next critical level I'm watching, let's pull up the horizontal line. The next critical level that I'm watching is 77K. So I actually set up a bunch of buy orders at 77K. Again, this is only for trading. Like if you guys are not into trading or investing, that's fine. It's always good to separate a investment mindset, so a long-term mindset, and also a short-term trading mindset. So if short-term trading is not for you, just hold a Bitcoin and do DCA. That is like is the easier way out, I would say, and you can finally get some sleep at night. So this is what I'm eyeing. And as for the indicators I'm using right here, if you guys are curious, just go to Substack and check out Strategy Master, because this is the indicators I pulled from him. So I need to give him a lot of credits, and he does post a lot of his own analysis. He's posting about gold and the stock market, S&P 500, so not only Bitcoin. So do check out, or maybe try out the indicators yourself if you're interested. All right, so this is the daily I was talking about. Let's also hop on to the weekly. Like it gets like a little bit confusing, but bear with me. So weekly, this also aligns with the prediction of giving out, because like we were looking at the lagging indicator for the cycle time frame down at the bottom, but right now how about we look at the leading indicator, so being the Ichimoku cloud here. So last cycle we spent 3 months doing sideways action, so consolidation period, and zooming out, this is again a bear flags, because we have like the resistance building out, and we also have the rising support level, but turns out this is just a bear flag. And if similar pattern would play out, that would bring us to, because like this also happened to align with the cycle time frame we were doing on the daily candles as well. So like if this plays out, so around like 90 days, that would bring us to mid-February. So around this time, or maybe early February. So mid or early February, consolidating within this region. So that would bring us like mid-February, before losing the leading span B completely on the Ichimoku cloud. So in other words, this is just the second stage of the bear run before heading to lower. So how low can we go? Let's put off the moving average for now. So this is the 50-week, just like focus on the yellow line here. Yellow line being the 200-week, we are sitting at $58,000. Like this line going to slowly catch up. So by the time we completely lose it, maybe you're going to be around 60K or something like that. So I'm not saying we're going to get down to 60K as soon as February 2026, but like it's a slow grind down. So maybe going to carry out all the way till Q3 or even Q4 for 2026. And then we're going to have a rally in October 2026. That is at least the pattern that we've spotted in previous cycles. Anyway, so that was a quick rundown for the Bitcoin's price. Let's actually get into crypto right now, or maybe more specifically DAX. DAX, Hyperliquid. DAX just proved one brutal truth. When the airdrop ends, most volume disappears. Right now, Hyperliquid is the one platform that's still standing in the bear cycle, while competitors that pump from airdrops are now getting exposed as the volumes fall hard, some down 3x after the rewards dried out. So let's break it down. First of all, perp DAX. Like if you guys don't do contract, perp DAX is basically a bet on price to whether go up or go down. And the key feature is that it doesn't have expiry date. You can hold as long as you want until you get stopped out or liquidated, or maybe you take profit. A perp DAX means you are doing everything on-chain without a centralized exchange holding your funds. So it's leverage trading and crypto and DeFi mechanics. And the latest data shows, so let's scroll down to the chart. The latest data about perp DAX, it shows that Hyperliquid is back at the top dog yet again. So what the key numbers everyone is watching. So first of all, we have two charts, being the 7-day trading volume and also open interest. So for the past 7 days, Hyperliquid is around $40 billion. That's really good in a bear cycle. And then for open interest, it's around $9.57 billion. So let's explain what these two charts mean, what these numbers mean. So on the left, we have the DAX volume. So volume, it means like how much being traded. It's like activity, measuring how much activity, how much money is moving through the platform. But volume, that's the tricky part, because it can be faked very easily. Because some platforms can pump volume using reward incentives, using trading boards or watch trading and points farming. So volume alone, that's not enough to justify if Hyperliquid is indeed the top dog. We now need to get into open interest, so the chart on the right side. Open interest is a real signal because it tells you how much money is still inside open interest right now. So think of it like this. If volume is people walking into a club, open interest is how many people are still inside dancing in the club. So when you see Hyperliquid holding the biggest open interest compared to other competitors, it usually means that the capital is very sticky. So people are not withdrawing money from the platform. Users are not here just to farm some rewards and then they leave. They're actually trading seriously and holding positions on Hyperliquid. This is the core story behind the headline, because other competitors like Aster and Lighter, they had the massive hype cycles. They had massive hype phases because of airdrop incentives. So people were trading on these two platforms just to farm airdrop, just to get the points and get up on that ranking leaderboard. So once the airdrop hit, a lot of that activity left these platforms instantly. Lighter is a clear example. So it was trading around 78 to 75 to 80 billion dollars weekly at peak. That it fell to around 25 billion dollars weekly later. That's like a 3x drop. That tells you something important. A big part of that demand was not real demand. It was just like this platform's trying to launch out some marketing plan for rewards for airdrop, but like bear in mind, Hyperliquid is also a so hype token is also an airdrop token, but like so far it shows that this is the king out of perp DAX. The whole perp DAX is the whole war is showing a very clean pattern in crypto. Airdrops are of course free money. If you're just starting out in crypto, then I highly recommend airdrop, though like it's very time consuming. So if your position is maybe it's not significant, if you're just starting out and you're trying to dabble in crypto with very low risk, then using your time in order to get a little bit of rewards, that is a good strategy, I would say. Like airdrops are free money. They bring in traders for these platforms, of course, like farmers and leverage degens. So do it for the points kind of users. But like once rewards stop, the market tests the truth. Are these platforms any good to keep the users? Hyperliquid is basically proving that when free money disappears, product quality matters, especially in bear market. Hyperliquid is pulling ahead because it delivers where perp traders are actually care about is, for example, fast execution, low fees, deep liquidity, and it doesn't feel like a DeFi platform after all. It trades basically like a centralized exchanges, but runs on chain. That's the beauty of it, because like for perp trading, a lot of countries around the world actually restricted that. So having an on-chain option is, of course, that's very powerful. And that's why many traders are treating it like the Hyperliquid, the end game perp DAX. But the reality check, like perps, of course, very exciting, but like perps are very dangerous. So when you trade high leverage, which I do not recommend any leverage at all, especially for the time being in this volatile market. So using leverage, a small move against you can wipe you out entirely. Liquidations can happen very quick, maybe just like when you get a few hours of sleep, and you can lose everything before you even react. So even though this is a DAX war, at the human level, this story is about risk, leverage, and survival. And this is where people get tempted. They see the platform winning and assume the token might be guaranteed to pump. But like, let's take a look at some of the altcoins. So let's look at the king of the DAX, right? Perp DAX compared to Aster and Lighter. So Hyperliquid, it pumped, like it has a really generous pump. It was on a major rally till September 2025, and we had a high of $57. So ever since we dropped quite significantly. So right now we're trading at $21. So if we look at the past 3 months performance, it's down 46% in just the past 3 months. And this is already the king in perp DAX. So trading altcoins or investing in altcoins, it carries significant risk. And Hyperliquid, they do have the buyback mechanism. So basically, the more people trade on Hyperliquid, and the more fees Hyperliquid will earn, and they're going to use that fee to buy back the token. So that is like the constant loop and trying to push up the price of hype token. But like because of the market, like basically none of the altcoins are doing well in a market like this. So trading altcoins, buying altcoins is very difficult. And choosing that 1% gem is even more difficult. So this news, the key takeaway, I would say, like Hyperliquid is of course winning compared to other platforms. It's a very strong platform. It's a really good product, but token price still depends on market cycles. So the bottom line is Hyperliquid is dominating perps again now because it has something most DeFi projects don't, which is real retention. The competitors show big numbers during airdrop season, but once rewards ended, the volume dropped back to earth. And that tells you the truth. In DeFi, incentives can rent users, but only real product quality can keep them. So if you're watching the next winners of crypto trading infrastructure, this perp DAX battleground is one of the most important trends in 2026, in my opinion, not financial advice. And Hyperliquid is clearly at the center of this whole trend, this whole narrative. Anyway, so that was the quick update on the whole Bitcoin and crypto side of things, especially when it comes to DeFi. So last call to action before we end the show, make sure to give us a follow on Twitter. My personal Twitter is jamjamcrypto_io. Make sure to follow us on Roxham TV as well. So it's very simple at Roxham TV. And we have regular updates about the news. So global news is about Bitcoin, AI, geopolitics. So point being, there's so much valuable content that we post on a very constant basis. So there's so much stuff that you don't want to miss out. So make sure to follow us there and subscribe on our YouTube channel as well. So anyways, my live show is from Monday to Friday, 3 a.m. Eastern time. If you don't manage to catch that live, don't worry. My show is also available on my YouTube channel, so being Jam Crypto YouTube channel and also Roxham TV YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's show.